despite what their moms told them. They just aren't talented enough for radio. Unfortunately, anyone can have a show these days. Sean.
Well, I'm pretty hard to figure out sometimes. In fact, I can't even figure myself out sometimes, so don't you try to.
Joe.
You're an idiot and really a disloyal person.
This is the Cuse Militia. Now, those two unapologetically biased orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe.
It's the most bullshit thing I've seen in 30 years.
Welcome, orange men and ladies. Happy Sunday. As happy as it could be after yesterday. This is the Cuse Militia with Sean and Joe for the Believe Entertainment Network at Cuse Militia on the socials. Go there, join the militia. We're back with you. And Syracuse loses to Duke 101-64. That 64, to put it into perspective a little bit, Duke, they would have beat Duke by 3 if Duke only played the second half.
Oh, okay.
So
you're saying there's a chance.
So there was a chance. If Duke didn't play the first half and we didn't count their points, they'd have won by 3. So it's pretty good. A 61-point second half by Duke. Just so happy that I didn't watch that game. And I didn't watch it by choice. I didn't watch it on purpose because I figured, you know what? If it's close, I'll know because I'll get the text. So I didn't get any text, which told me I wasn't missing anything.
Yeah. I'm not a in-game texter. You know that. A lot of times I'm a little behind, and I use the commercials in halftime to catch up. But it was just another game where they played for a little while and kind of got your hopes up just for them to just rip it away. And I think a lot of people probably didn't expect us to win that game anyway. But,
Yeah, but to have it be your worst loss in 20 years, though?
Okay, so perspective in the under 4-minute timeout, we were losing by 5. It was 29-24 in the first half. So you want to go for 15, 16 minutes. It looked like we were actually going to have a chance to at least be in it.
It started slow. The scoring started slow for both teams.
It did. And then, Duke, they got out of, their under 4 timeout, and they went an 11-0 run to close the half to be up 40-24 at halftime. And then at that point, it was like, okay, it's 16. So obviously, this is going to be tough to come back. Again, I'm a glutton for punishment, so I continue to watch the game. And pretty much, you're talking about the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes into the – actually, it was the first 2 minutes. Duke got up to basically a 50. They went on a 10-4 run or something like that, and they were up 50-28. And at that point, you're like, okay, it's 22. This is going to be – it's going to get out of hand, and it obviously did. So I'm normally the guy that watches everything all the way through because I kind of want to see how our team handles those situations. But I would say that this might have been the first time ever, really, that I shut a basketball game off with 10 minutes to go in the game. So, and look, kudos to Duke. We knew they were a good team anyway. For us to go in and beat a team like Duke and Cameron, they got to play bad, and we got to play pretty much out of our minds. They hit 12 of 20 3-pointers. They shot 62% for the whole game. They shot 79% in the second half. So they played way better than what they normally do anyway. So.
Well, they only turned the ball over 4 times. They're just not careless.
Right. Yeah, pretty much. So you knew at some point they were going to run away with it. I just didn't think it was going to be 37 points. Gave up 61 points in the second half.
61 points in the second half. We scored 64 for the whole game. I mean, we can talk about that all day if you want.
Yeah. No.
But I'd rather
good.
not.
No, I'm just, that sums up that game.
Yeah. And some of you might be like, oh, well, you didn't even watch the game. No, I didn't.
No.
I didn't. I'm sorry.
And it wasn't even like it's just getting to the point to where, I mean, I went into work the next day and there was a bunch of Duke fans. They didn't even rub it in my face. It was like they felt bad for me.
I mean, at that, well, look, dude, this is the difference between a program that has their stuff together and a program that does not.
Oh yeah,
it just simply does not have their stuff together.
Very evident.
And that's being so mild in my language, because what I really want to say right now, it's just not worth. It's not worth stewing up the anger from my gut to spew it out, because that's where I am with this season. And to be honest with you, yesterday's game was more frustrating than finding out Syracuse had their worst loss in 20 years against Duke before. So while they kept that game close, for a lot of it, it just doesn't, just the cohesion, man, it's just not there. Right. But with that said, yesterday was just a bad sports day in general, because Syracuse loses to Harvard by 1. And I saw somebody posted, this could be true, maybe not, maybe it is, but I just read it on Twitter, so it's got to be true. Syracuse lacrosse hasn't won outside in February since 2003 against Army. So whether or not that's true, I'll just take it with a grain of salt, but whether or not that's true, I mean, extremely disappointing, because both of those games ended minutes apart and like real-time minutes apart.
Right.
So not game time. And just a frustrating day. Just the lacrosse game just capped off what was just a crap week for Syracuse basketball and out of the 2 of the top 3 programs in the school. So anyways, all right, let's hear what Coach had to say following the game.
I thought today's game came down to the second half, our inability to generate any type of offense. I thought that was the difference. I thought our defense was good enough, but the offense was, we just couldn't get anything going, couldn't get to the free throw line. 3 for 17 from 3. If you don't make threes, it's going to be tough to win against a tough, a good North Carolina team. I thought that was the difference in the game. I thought we defended for the most part. It's just our offense. We couldn't get it going today. I mean, we got in the lane, we couldn't finish. They made it tough for us. We missed some chippies early. Even in the first half, we had a chance. I think we had a couple of, probably left about 8 or 10 points out there in the first half. When you play against a team like North Carolina, you got to make those. Then also, I think defensively, it was one of our better performances for the most part. But when we did have our breakdowns, they made us pay. In particular, being able to get a couple of threes and a couple of offensive rebounds when we couldn't finish out the possession. I thought that was the difference. Questions?
What's going on with Donnie? He had 2 technicals today. He really looked like a little frustrated.
Yeah, he was frustrated. Obviously, he was frustrated. It was a physical game. I thought, that had something to do with it. Being physical, and obviously, this is an important game for us. And so emotions were high. We were trying to, he was competing. So I think, that was the big part. But again, it was a physical game. They did some things, against him, being physical, trapping him, things like that. So I thought that was a lot of the frustration. Here's the reality. I mean, Donnie Freeman, if he struggles, and Nate George, and, the Nate Kings and those guys struggle, that's going to be tough for us to to make threes. We rely on those guys to make threes, to get some threes up as well. And we just didn't shoot the ball well from threes, and we had some open looks for the most part, and we didn't make them. And that was the difference. I thought, to get us over that hump, to really, keep moving. Once we tied the game, we just had a couple of shots that you got to make, and we didn't make them.
Coach, you guys only had 6 assists today. Did you like your ball movement, or was it just a byproduct of missed shots?
Well, I think it was because the ball wasn't going in. So again, it's only going to be so much ball movements and so many screens when they can go under, they can play a certain way when the ball's not going in. When the ball's going in, the floor gets bigger, and now you get more ball movement. Today, especially the second half, the fact that we just couldn't make shots, I thought that had a lot more to do with it than the ball movement. So thanks, guys.
So there you have it.
They're getting shorter and shorter, ain't they?
Yeah, that was half of it. You heard half of it.
Yeah, I saw the whole thing. It was basically
6 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those usually run anywhere from 9 to 15 most of the time, or 10 to 15. But anyway, there's just not. Which, hey, look. I mean, to be honest with you, contemplated even coming here and talking, because we're just gonna sit here and mostly just beat a dead horse. I gotta say that, if everyone struggles, to Coach's point, if 4 out of your 5 starters struggle, or 3 out of your 5 starters that he named struggle, it's going to be hard to score. Well, I would say so. I mean,
Yeah.
if we're playing state the obvious, I would totally agree with that. That's tough. If 3 out of your 5 starters struggle, you're probably going to lose that game. And here's the thing. UNC is a beatable team.
Without Caleb Wilson,
yeah,
absolutely.
Right, exactly. They are extremely beatable. What a difference one person makes.
Well, I will say, North Carolina got, and it doesn't help when North Carolina got the brakes beat off of them by NC State earlier in the week. And Vassar didn't play that game.
Right, and that does not bode well for us ever.
No, and Vassar came back, obviously, with a vengeance. So.
Right, and that's the 7-footer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. But also too. Let's just throw it out there. First game we watched. We made it. We made when we played them the first time at North Carolina, and they were up like 30-something, and we made that run. We did that when they took Vassar and Caleb Wilson out. They came back in, and they settled everybody down, and then they ended up getting a 10-point victory. So I did think that this one was a winnable game, and the first 4 or 5 minutes, it looked like we actually were out there to play to win. And again, I think, we do had the quad 1 games ahead of us. I don't care what you turn around and you win a North Carolina, in a Louisville, and a Wake Forest on the road, you win those 3, then, there's still, at least it helps, right? But we're right where I thought we were going to be. The fact that we need to win the ACC tournament to make the tournament, and that's just not going to happen. And
how do you know? How do you know?
See,
Mr. Negative.
Do you see what this team's doing to me? Do you see what this team's doing to me?
Holy shit! This
last year when we were 14 and 19, I was like, well, maybe there's a chance.
This is our
Eddie Lampkin.
This is our 10th basketball season. You've never uttered those words. Did you know that the last 5-year drought without going to a postseason tournament has been since the 70s?
67 to 72.
Yeah.
And at least in those years, I think we made the NIT at least.
Well, the NIT was the big deal back then, wasn't it? In the 60s and 70s?
I think
that was the tournament, right?
They were closer. They were closer to the same. I think the teams got to pick because, again, in 70 and then 70, 71 and 71, 72, they were 19 and 7. They were 22 and 6. And they made the NIT. So they probably went to the NITs. There was probably a choice. And then I think right around that time was when they turned it to where the NCAA tournament was more prevalent. But yeah, you're talking about a 5-year drought that we're not even playing in the NIT. Granted, we were good enough to play in the NIT, and we were on the bubble Adrian Autry's first year. But yeah, it's been a rough one, man. I mean, the last time was the season after COVID when Buddy and Joe Girard and them, played their butts off, and they ended up making the league. Well, we made it, and people didn't even think we were going to make it. We had the playing game, and we made it to the Sweet 16. Ever since then, I mean, you're talking about a Boeheim 16 and 17. They were under 500. Next season, 17 and 15, barely over 500. Adrian Autry comes in. You think maybe we're turning this train around because we're playing different. Judah Mintz pretty much carried those guys. But Judah Mintz leaves, and then you have Quadir Copeland transfer. You have Malik Brown transfer. And then last year, we go 14 and 19 and have the worst season since we landed on the moon. So there's a lot of records that are being beaten here in the last 5 years, and they're not good records, right? These aren't records to be proud of. So
no, it hasn't been a lot to be proud of.
No.
Really,
and
period.
now we're on the fringe of, are we gonna go 2 years in a row under 500? Which again, with us growing up, we never even had to worry about that. That wasn't even being over 500 wasn't even a question as a Syracuse fan growing up.
Well, I don't think so. Just by what's slated, I don't. However, anything can happen, I suppose. And, I think one of the biggest frustrating points from yesterday's game was 3 for 17, 18% from 3. And a very untimely, mouthy Donnie Freeman not being able to hold his composure. The dude missed both his free throws, by the way, which was just hilarious for UNC. So,
well, I mean, Donnie Freeman ended up getting ejected, right? He got 2 technicals and got ejected.
Yeah, this is the first one, though. I'm talking about the first one.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's my thing is again, it's an attitude thing, right? It's just one of those things where you see it, and we've seen it for however many years, right? I mean, Judah Mintz, he was good, but he lacked discipline, and he was mouthy.
He smacked a dude.
Yeah, he smacked a dude, right?
Yeah, what was that dude's name again? From Bryant.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
You remember that?
I do remember
Yeah, he
that.
smacked him.
Yeah,
Bitch smacked him.
So then dude got him back, though. He tagged him back.
Yeah, he did. He did.
And it's just I don't understand it. You look at some of the last, McDonald All-Americans and best players that we've had. It's like they have discipline issues. They don't seem to.
Frustration shown through, and that was my point. My point was the leadership. Like, Donnie Freeman's supposed to be a leader on this team, and you saw JJ try to put this team on his back yesterday. He come out of the half pretty fired up. He did as good of a job as he could. Second to last game at the Dome for him.
Right.
And he doesn't let his emotions get the best of him. Donnie Freeman does. He wears it on his sleeve, and it's okay to wear it on your sleeve, and it's okay to mouth off a little bit. But, 2 technicals in one game. The first one was untimely because the game was still kind of close. It just, it's just a momentum killer. And I don't know. You got to be better than that. The game wasn't out of control at that point. The game was really never out of control until the very end.
Right.
when you knew we weren't going to come back from 12 down, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
but I don't even know how many technicals he has this year, but I mean, he missed so many games. He's probably played the least amount of games out of everyone on the team, and I guarantee you he leads the team in technicals. And you get away with something that probably should have been called as an offensive foul because you're frustrated anyway, and then you throw the ball at the guy. Of course that's going to be a technical foul. I mean, I just don't understand.
Yeah, you in Syracuse got some breaks with some calls yesterday. They got a couple breaks on some calls. There was
both teams did, I believe.
Yeah, I think so, but I mean, I'm just going to point out my team because my team is the one under the microscope. I think I think they got away with a couple, and it always, I mean, that always happens. But at the end of the day, then instead of capitalizing on it, you get teed up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, what are you doing? It's so ignorant. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
So I guess that's just where people's frustrations coming in, and to watch this team just absolutely struggle from three and from the free throw line. Yeah, if I could say that.
They were actually okay yesterday.
Yeah, they weren't that bad, were they?
Above average.
Yeah, they weren't
Above
that bad.
average.
They weren't that
But
bad.
Tyler Betsy's the only guy that hit a 3.
He hit 3 of them?
So-
He's the one who hit all 3 of those? I know he hit the first 2.
He had 3 of 5.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, 11 for 16 from the line, which isn't terrible. But here's the other thing. Like, UNC struggled from the line.
Right.
And they weren't able to just capitalize on that either. I mean, they were 15 for 28, and by the way, they got there a lot. And I noticed that too. But I mean,
When have we capitalized this year?
That's the trend, isn't it? Like, what have we done?
Right.
They kept it competitive for a lot of this game, and they weren't hitting threes, which is amazing to be able to even accomplish that. If they hit a few more threes and some momentum, the crowd was there. By the way, look. Respectively, the crowd was there this year. That was the largest on-campus crowd of the year.
Right.
For them. So now
I think in college basketball.
Well, in college basketball, also for them, right? But it was 26,000.
I see 23.6.
Was it 23.6? Okay, hold on one second. Because let me look. Because there was 23,606, and at DJ Gridley quoted this tweet from Syracuse men's basketball and said, "This used to be a Tuesday against Providence." 26.6.
Yeah.
And so we keep lowering our standards to accommodate like some kind of not necessarily nostalgia, but something to hang your hat on. We're lowering our standards to hang our hat on. 23,606 in attendance at a game approaching March at home against a ranked UNC. I mean, come on. This should tell everybody where this is at. And by the way, while the crowd was good, it was still spotty. There's definitely some pictures where you look at this crowd and you're like, well, there's a lot of freaking empty seats front and center. Plain and simple.
No.
So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, right? Is that's kind of telling, because usually I think and I mean, I could look it up real quick, but usually it's attendance, like per like season, like who has like the most, like the highest average attendance. And normally, if I remember correctly,
Kansas or us?
No, it's Kentucky.
Kentucky or us.
It's usually we're either 1 or 2. And I think they said it on the broadcast yesterday that we're 6th this year. That's telling. With the amount of seats that we have, it's hard to be 6th.
Well, Joe, the weather's been bad.
Again.
Didn't used to stop us. Back in the day, it didn't stop us anyway.
Yeah. No. Again, you can just add that onto the damn tweet you just said. A Tuesday against Providence during a blizzard.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just, and going back to what I was saying is just, I don't know, obviously we talk about the NIL and people want to blame the coach and the athletic director and things of that nature, but I mean, something's going on. Like something's going on.
What do you mean?
I mean, as far as, again, I mean, you got to blow it up a little bit, but I mean, between player development, evolution as a team during the season, like I was saying before, like the last couple really good players that we've gotten, like if you look at like McDonald All-American type like recruits, J.J. Starling, he was a transfer, but he was highly rated coming out of high school. He went to Notre Dame. I feel like he's the same player he was when he came in as a sophomore.
Yeah.
We had Judah Mintz, who, again, I mean, he willed us to 20 wins 2 years ago, but he also had his issues with technical fouls, and obviously you said the smack, right? Benny Williams was supposed to be this great McDonald All-American guy. He turned it into a damn head case, right? And now, we get Donnie Freeman, and again, just hasn't lived up to the hype. He's very limited in what he can do. Now, don't get me wrong, he's probably a great one-on-one player. He's probably really hard to beat one-on-one. But this is a team game, right? And the announcer even said it yesterday. He's done at least 2, if not 3 of our games. And he brought it up and he said, the teams, we've seen a pattern of Donnie Freeman gets the ball and the teams, they start double teaming him, right? I don't think they're double teaming him because they're afraid of him scoring. I think they're double teaming him, to the guy's point, to make Donnie Freeman make the right play. And he looks like he's very shaky when it comes to having to pass the ball when he gets double teamed. Almost had another turnover yesterday. So it's very, very difficult to sit here and watch a team. Well, I say team loosely, but
yeah,
they're all just one-on-one players. It seems like they're one-on-one players. I mean, we've listened to it. Jay Williams has called a couple of our games. Randolph Childress has called a couple of our games. I can't think of the guy's name yesterday. John something. I think he played for Penn State back in the day. He's called at least 2 or 3 of our games. These are high-level basketball players, in some instances NBA players, that are watching our team, and they're all saying the same thing. They're all saying the same thing. I mean, we were in that game yesterday at halftime. We only had 2 assists in the first half.
Yeah, and Coach in the first half was actually close. Coach wants to talk about, 6 assists for the whole game, and that's it's his shots weren't going in, and he wants to talk about these guys putting this team on their back and what JJ did in the second half. But to your point, there was 2 in the first half. That's the game was so tight. What did we were down by 2 at the end of the half? Isn't that right? So I mean, it's just this ISO ball. This is like something that this is not anything new either. And I'm not a coach. I don't know how to fix it, but these guys are obviously not into it. I don't feel like they're into it. Where is the passion?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Show me something. You saw passion from JJ Starling yesterday. That was passionate. Yeah. That was passionate.
But if he's not scoring, that goes away, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. But he was. And I mean,
he at least, and everybody's inconsistent. You never know who you're going to get.
He at least showed us, it showed the fans and everybody watching that, he loves the game and he wanted to win. And I'm not saying guys don't want to win, but I mean, it looked kind of like they just were out there waiting for the buzzer to hit.
Yeah.
And I think I just think these guys are waiting for this season to be over. You know who looks like on the bench and during the game looks like they want the season over?
Kyan Anthony.
Yeah. Coach.
No, him too.
Yeah, Coach does. So to me, it's like, yeah, I mean, that's a whole nother situation. What does he do next year?
I don't know.
We probably got the dude for a bag of donuts.
Right.
I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah, and again, and I had a long conversation yesterday with my dad because also, this is the type of, because he was just saying, he's like, JJ was doing so good. It's one of those things where I try to explain to him, and it even goes as far as, if you know how to play basketball, even to competitive freaking men's league basketball games, I mean, you don't even have a coach, right? When you're a player, you're playing the game and you're picking up the other team's tendencies, right? Oh, that guy can't go left, or he likes to go right, so I'm going to make him go this way, right? Or this guy can't shoot, or this guy can't guard me. You create the mismatches that you see on the floor. And, of course, the coaches are supposed to help and see that too, but it helps when you have players with high basketball IQ that can pick it up on their own, and they don't have to wait for a timeout for a coach to tell them.
Yeah, they don't need
right.
They don't need direction.
Right. And that you see these other teams doing that, and my dad was like, well, JJ was killing it, and then he just takes him out and puts in Cayenne Anthony. He's like, why did they go away from what was working? And again, great question, because then there was a point in the second half where it almost seemed like we were force-feeding Donnie Freeman the ball because he didn't have any points and he needed to score. And that's what it looks like, right? But again, it goes back to roster construction. What type of players are you getting, right? This is one of those, the chicken or the egg as far as that goes with NIL, but do the players that get money, do they have these egos, right? Do they have these things of, oh, well, I'm getting paid more than the coaches, or I'm getting paid more than this guy, so I should be getting this many shots? Like, you just don't know what type of players the coach has to manage behind closed doors, and you don't know what's going on with that. And all it takes is, like I told my dad yesterday, bad apple spoils the bunch, right? All it takes is one bad egg. But at the same time, you have to be able to coach. Like Boeheim did it all the time. You did something stupid or something that he told you he didn't want you to do, you're coming out.
Yeah.
It don't matter how good you are.
Right.
And it just seems like nowadays, well, at least in our situation, it seems like a coach is almost afraid to pull the guys that aren't pulling their weight. And then you see a guy like Sadiq White come in with all this energy, score 6 quick points. He's knocking balls away, getting rebounds, playing good defense, and then he's on the bench. And it's like, why are you taking that out? And then you're putting in a guy that comes in, should have got an offensive foul, and they got a technical. You know what I mean? Like, it's a chemistry thing to where you have to manage these characters of all these different players, and, what type of person are they? Like, are they a team player, or are they all about themselves and the money and putting up their stats to try to get to the NBA? Like, you don't know. You know what I mean? But at some point, something's going on, because money doesn't, when you have players that are willing to walk and go to a team to make less money, seemingly because they want to play in March, they want to play in the tournament. I mean, we're not going to sit here and say Chris Bell had the best attitude, but I'd be willing to bet that he's not making that much more at California, and he's over there on a bubble team. Quadir Copeland, I'm sure he didn't make as much money going to McNeese State. Maybe he's making more now that he's at NC State, but when he left and went to McNeese State,
he wanted to play.
He wanted to play,
yeah,
and they made a tournament.
Right.
I'm sure.
Yeah, and they were feisty. That was a feisty McNeese State team.
They won a game.
Yeah.
They won a game.
They had like 3 Quadir Copelands on that team.
Yeah, and even Malik Brown. I mean, with the amount of money that Duke has been given to their superstars and everything, and the role that he's playing, I'm sure that he could have made more money at Syracuse, and he would have had a bigger role. I mean, he's a senior, I believe, this year, and he's coming off the bench because of how much talent they have.
Right.
But what is it telling the players? That if you want to play in March, you want to play in a tournament,
you're not going to be playing in the tournament or in March if you're playing for Syracuse.
And those players are willing to go and leave and most likely take less money.
Well, aside from Brown. I mean, he could have maybe made more money. But see, here's the thing. It's like what I tweeted last night.
But those are the players that you want.
Well, right.
The players that aren't in for the money,
invest.
They want to play.
Yes.
You see Malik Brown. We saw effort every single time. Quadir Copeland, did he make mistakes? Sure. But he's out there having fun, and he's got energy and effort. I can't tell you, it's so annoying how many NC State fans that I work with are like, hey, man, why'd you guys get rid of Quadir Copeland? He's like my favorite player on the team. Like, thanks. He was my favorite player, too, at Syracuse until he left. Right? So it's just you're running off guys that all they want to do is play and win and compete. And we're getting these other guys that seem like they're prima donnas.
Yeah, I've made the analogy before. It reminds me of the tournament teams, the basketball tournament teams that are out there auditioning, and which is why Boeheim's Army hasn't really done a ton since they won the championship.
Right.
Yeah.
But you got to.
In the 2 years before that, they didn't do much. You know.
But mean, you have to be able to coach with accountability, right? And we can sit here and say, oh, the coach, he hasn't lost the locker room and all that. I don't know if he's lost the locker room, but he's probably lost some respect from the locker room, or at least some players, because at the end of the day, there's players that are doing things out there in the basketball court that are unacceptable, and they should be getting punished.
They're a direct result of a team that is not personally accountable, and also just there's no floor general to have some kind of organization with this team, and they just don't look like they're loving each other too much.
Well, that's the other thing too. And again, you'll never know the relationships that they have behind closed doors and what's been said and everything. And I will live and die on the show. And I know that this is going to be controversial for some people that hear it, because I know some people don't like him. But I feel like Nate George actually is that type of player. But I think that he's surrounded by a bunch of guys that aren't team players, and I think that's just a bad mix for him. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see him leave too after this year and go to a team.
I mean, he does not seem happy here, and that's just.
But at the same time, that's the one player that I will say that I've seen that comes out and he seems like he shows effort. He plays with effort every single time.
Yeah, and you're really alluding to the fact that what he had to say about the fans, and there was a lot of things said about him before he had interjected his thoughts into the fan base and things like that, or about the fan base. But I can see that. Yeah, I mean, I hadn't seen this on paper, but what did he? Yeah, only 3 turnovers yesterday. I say only 3. But I mean, at one point in time, though, I'll be honest with you, I was like, he's not doing anything? Why is he shooting
so many shots? Right.
Yes.
I mean, it's just, he hit a couple early, but again, with the inconsistency of everybody, you don't know what you're going to get. I feel like he has been pushed into a situation where he has to force shots and force passes because he feels like he has to do more to make up for the lack of effort in other areas.
Yeah, well, you wonder what the camaraderie is behind the scenes. And I mean, just judging by people's body language, I'm led to believe by what I see that It's not great.
Right.
And I just think that that's too bad. And I think that at the end of the day, put it this way. Like, did you watch the Duke-Michigan game last night?
No.
Okay.
No. After Syracuse, I kind of shut off college basketball and went straight to the UFC fight night. So
okay. Well,
UFC is starting to become actually quietly my favorite sport because guess what? You got to try in that sport.
You do have to try in that sport. You'll literally get your ass kicked if you don't try.
You got to show effort in that.
Yeah. I think's kind of, no, I'm not going to say it. That'd be controversial too. Never mind.
Yeah, probably.
So I was watching that game. It was a good game. Obviously, I was rooting for Michigan, which anybody but Duke is kind of like my motto. So I'm watching that game. I'm just thinking to myself, Duke is a national championship team. I think that if
they're in the group of a team that can win. Yes.
If they do not win the national championship, I would be absolutely shocked. And if I was a Duke fan, I would be. Well, maybe it's easier to look outside of this in my perspective than a Duke fan. I would put money on Duke right now. I would put money on easily. I'd put a big chunk of money on Duke to win the national championship.
I mean, I put a little bet in the beginning of the year for them to make the Final Four.
You did? Well, you're probably going to win that bet.
Probably.
So, because I think they're going to win. So I'm watching this game, and it was a really good game, man. And Michigan is a really good team. Really good. And Duke controlled that game. Although it was close the entire time, Duke controlled that game. Michigan found themselves in a place where they're having to call their way back in from 6 down, 8 down, get up and tie it, and then go back down. And it was like Duke just controlled the game. I mean, I want to be competitive. we're not going to get there. I tweeted something last night after that game. It's just a realization to me that's just like, you know what? Syracuse better get some freaking money, and they better get it freaking quick. And through this overhaul of what they do in the offseason, they better figure it the F out, because they're not going to be relevant. We're going to get to a place where this team is just not going to be relevant. In the all of the nostalgia and all of the things that we've been proud of and all of the things that we've been able to accomplish and just be able to just hang your hat on, like none of that stuff is going to matter when Syracuse is left holding their junk because they don't got any freaking money and no one wants to play with them because they can't get their heads out of their ass administratively. Like I also tweeted yesterday, I think the Cuse militia has done more for Syracuse sports than John Wildhack. What has this man done in 10 years? We have been podcasting as long as he has been AD, just about. It's months difference. So, I mean, what have we been doing for the past 10 years? This dude's just collecting a check. Like, we got to get some serious freaking people in there. And not that Adrian Autry isn't serious. I just don't think he's the man for the job. I saw a tweet yesterday from Cardiac Cuse, at Cardiac Cuse on Twitter. It says, Red, we will always love you and what you did as a player here. With that being said, I think we're all ready for this season to be over with. You just weren't the guy, and there's nothing wrong with that. We'll always love Adrian Autry. Yep. He's just not right for what this sport has become. And I think that anybody that comes in and coaches Syracuse, and you could have, all of the names that are being thrown around constantly or through the past few years, if they don't have the money, they're only going to be able to do so much.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. So who do you get? Who do you get coming into a situation that well, hey, I already know some inside baseball because I'm a coach and I'm in the circuit, and I know that Syracuse has these problems with NIL cash. What the hell am I going to be able to do with it?
Right. Don't think that that's not on that's not going to be on the coaches. You know what I mean?
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's going to be.
That's my thing. And I've tried to just question that same exact thing, right? Because has this just been, when they say, we're Syracuse, everyone's family, keep it in the family. You know what I mean? Like, this has been just a good old boys club this whole time.
Yeah. Well,
the next guy just steps up. The next guy steps up. We've had guys there forever. Oh, we get a new AD. Oh, random. He's a freaking Syracuse grad.
Oh,
right.
Like,
and then Boeheim leaves. Oh, we got to keep. Oh, who is it? GMAC or Autry? Like, at the end of the day, like, are they really making the right choices on their hires? I mean, you could say. I mean, look, John Wildhack. Felicia Legit Jack. She's building a program over there.
She is,
and he hired her. He also hired the 2 lacrosse coaches.
Gary Gate, that's a tough decision to make. I mean, I think we all could have made that decision.
Right.
Credit where credit's due. Yeah. Okay. All right.
And there is excitement for Fran Brown, but again,
absolutely.
And I had this discussion with my dad too. You're going to figure it out. Because in the day and age of the college sports and the money, now hopefully the revenue sharing is going to help, but there's still going to be donor money, backhands, $1,000 handshakes or whatever the hell. Like, but revenue sharing is essentially supposed to make it to where your revenue for the conference is divided up by the amount of teams, and then every team gets that amount of money, and the schools are allowed to pay the players and not the donors. But, the donors and the people that got money and the fans, they've always had their hand in the cookie jar trying to, give players money and buy players, right? So I don't know if that's going away, but I'm hoping that this revenue sharing can help, because as much as I love the Fran Brown hire, I love him as a person. I love his values, as far as turning young men into, husbands and bringing God into it, and him holding them accountable, making sure they get degrees, making sure they're out there volunteering, doing work like that. I love everything about that, right? But that isn't going to keep his job. Only wins is going to keep his job,
W's.
right?
Yeah.
And again, in the day of NIL, I mean, it's almost, I'm going to say, like a social kind of experiment when it comes to head coaches. Because I think 10, 20 years ago, Fran Brown, great coach. I think he'd be able to get top 20, 25 recruiting classes when there was not money involved.
Yeah. Yeah,
But now
money's
he's trying to build a program based upon accountability, morals, and values, and he doesn't care how good you are. If you come in and you don't play by his rules and you don't play by his program, he's going to hold you accountable and he's going to tell you to go somewhere else. There's been plenty of very good athletes that don't see the field, or at the end of the year, he tells them, I don't think this is the place for you. And then they go somewhere else, and it's a good school, but you're just not running by his program, right? So he's trying to run a program like that, and I love it, but at the same time, it's like a good versus evil thing, right? You bring the money into it, and I mean, what are you going to do? Do you break your own principles because you have to pay more money to stay relevant so you win? I don't know.
Does a big donor come back once John Wildhack is gone?
Maybe.
I mean, there was at least there was some criticism for Adam Weitzman in the fact that, well, what's it cost? Well, this was even before that. So, but there was always criticism, like from my perspective, like bringing the celebrities in to try to draw attention was just a gimmick, and I think it was a gimmick on purpose, and that was the plan. So that's exactly what he was trying to do.
Right.
Now, that was before NIL. You take that money, that whatever, hey man, I'm giving to Tom Brady's foundation or this guy's foundation to get these people in here. Instead of taking that money and giving it to a foundation, now you're putting that money directly into a program, and you're helping recruit, basically. At the end of the day, you're flashing the money and being like, hey, look, this is what we want to do for you. Let's win. And you're able to bring people in by one very powerful person. That's just one guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, he had to. I mean, how much money do you think that dude blew on bringing Jimmy Fallon to the Dome, or Tom Brady, Gronkowski more than once?
Yeah.
Like, so, I think you can have your criticisms about what he was doing back then and this, that, and the other, but at the end of the day, I think it all came. There were some personal things and some other things he was involved with. I think the school did not want to be associated with, and I feel like that maybe was a okay idea, but
it didn't happen until Boeheim left.
Yeah. Well, it was Boeheim's last year.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was Boeheim's last year that Adam Weitzman was just stopped coming to games.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, ultimately the problem is that this whole thing isn't defined. I think that there's a way where you can get players money without having it be the wild, wild west, not allowing people to transfer every single year. We've had that conversation. But with revenue sharing, it's supposed to make it a little bit easier. But until you get situations where every team has got the same allotted money to give out, like a
DraftKings,
like a salary cap, right, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And that there's contracts, and you fix the transfer rule. We unfortunately, being private school, small private school in upstate New York, the way that of the world of college sports right now, it doesn't help us. And I will say that if they do the revenue sharing and everybody is doing that, guess what? You have to hold up your end. Because I will tell you right now, if you're not helping with the revenue, but you're getting the same revenue as everybody else, and you're not relevant,
you're going to be gone. Yeah, and that's kind of not that being the reason for it, but just being irrelevant. we've talked about, like Syracuse, like there's going to come a time where, what do we got? 17 people in, what is it, in the ACC right now?
I think 17.
17, right. Like, that's way too many. I hate to say that, but some people are going to have to go. That's too many when it comes to revenue sharing and all this stuff, right? Like,
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, you see the same thing with the SEC and with the Big Ten. And if you don't think that's not going to happen, then that's the same thing. Because if you think that Michigan's going to turn around and say, oh, okay, we get the same amount of money as Minnesota, like,
oh yeah,
I think that's
people are going to get sour about that.
Right. Because right now they're adding teams so that, again, they can maximize their revenue. But if those teams don't hold up their end and they're not bringing in they're getting more money from revenue sharing that they're actually bringing in, then I think you're going to see a situation where conferences are going to start booting people out, or at least saying, hey, you need to hold up your end of the bargain. I mean, there's so many ways that this could go. There's so many ways, and the whole thing is just not knowing the unknown. Is John Wildhack leaving because he's getting forced out because he feels the pressure, or is he leaving because he knows that in this day and age,
like, it's just not, it's inevitably going to be bad. I think the writing's on the wall, and I think that John Wildhack, and it's a little bit of a coincidence that there's other people getting out at the same time, but I think that at the end of the day, John Wildhack doesn't want the responsibility for the decline of this program. I mean, he's going to get it though anyway.
Yeah.
But it's just not going to happen on his watch, even though it did. But do you know what I'm saying though, right?
It started.
Right.
It started with him.
Right. And so
now, whether it's truly his fault or not is, again,
a
different story. Because you even look at Fran Brown. Like, when we hired him, everyone was like, huh? Like, did we get him on the cheap compared to another coach because he was just a defensive backs coach at Georgia? Again, I love him as a coach, and I pray that he stays successful and that he keeps his job here and that he changes and turns this football program around. But do we have the money to do it? And it looks like a good hire from John Wildhack at this point. But what happens when he starts asking for more money if he is successful?
I mean, if he's successful,
or do we not have the money to get the players, and he's just going to end up being like,
well, the coach,
what Dino had.
The coach is going to have to kind of, they're going to have to contribute in some way, kind of like the Tom Brady thing, right? Didn't he take numerous pay cuts to get help with the roster and to get players in? Mm-hmm. So your coach is going to have to play the Tom Brady role.
And I can see Fran doing that.
I could absolutely. And dude, let's be honest. Like, if you're a coach, wouldn't you? I mean, honestly, you're making, what did Jim Boeheim make? $2 million?
No, it all depends on your why.
Well, right, but my why would be I want to freaking win.
Yeah, but then there's other coaches that I want to win so that I can go and I can make more money and go be a coach at Michigan who's got FU money to throw at every player.
Well, I suppose if that's the case, but you're not going to get that kind of money if you're not winning.
Oh, I know.
So if you want to just use it as a stepping stone, which is possible for anybody who gets in that position, a coaching position at SU, period. Right. You have to first win to be desirable. So at the end of the day, I guess that's just part of it. I'd rather have that be part of it, Joe, than just like losing.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Like if we got to cycle through, I'd rather cycle through coaches every few years than have brand new freaking players in rosters season after season and have them be flops.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, I just don't, real quick, I just don't know what comes first. And whoever gets this AD job has their work cut out for them. Yeah. But you got to have someone smart. You got to have someone smart, young, like, this is a business now. It's not
No,
just
100% a business. Yes.
it's not just athletic director. You're running a business, and you're running multiple businesses. Really, you've got all of these sports that you're managing, and you're gonna have to make sure that the coaches you hire are going to be able to put leadership teams together that can execute. Those leadership teams being the players. And so it works just like a corporation now, where you got one guy at the top, he hires his managers, and his managers hires the teams. So a business-minded somebody would be huge. And you would think with someone like John Wildhack, who was at ESPN for 15 years or maybe longer, that he would have a corporate mentality, but maybe he just doesn't have it in him. How much was he making?
No.
I'm sure he's making pretty good money. He's another guy that could say, hey, look, I'm going to take a pay cut so that we can afford a little bit here, a little bit there. Like, everybody's going to have to sacrifice something at some point. Unless you just want to be greedy and you're like, I don't care about winning. I want to make a couple million here, go on to another school maybe, see what happens. Maybe I just ride off into the sunset. Whatever.
Well, and again, too, that's what's telling. I mean, to me personally, you got to blow it up. You got to bring somebody in as the chancellor that's going to be willing to say, okay, I don't have any ties to Syracuse, but I'm going to turn this thing around. And you're going to get an AD that doesn't have any ties to Syracuse, and then he's going to go out and he's going to get his basketball coach. But I mean, again, like you said, there's just some weird stuff, that's just. I mean, Kent Severud, the chancellor, he's not just like riding off into the sunset. You know that, right? He's not just like retiring or anything. Like,
I don't know what he's doing. I didn't pay attention.
He's stepping down as the Syracuse chancellor in June of 2026 and assuming the role of the incoming 16th president of the University of Michigan.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, the school that I just said has FU money.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. Right.
And then, ironically, Herm Fraser. And ironically, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, John Wildhack. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, we want to blame these individuals, but again, maybe it's the way of college basketball now.
Well, it is the way of college basketball now.
Maybe we just can't compete.
I don't think we can. We can't compete with it. No money.
No. Not unless they make rules to make it fair.
And
right.
Like you described, like when you go on DraftKings and you get X amount of dollars and you got to build a team, right? Like have a salary cap. The thing about the salary cap is, first of all, okay, two things. Would we even have enough money to? Would Syracuse have enough? Would Syracuse have less than the cap? Would they have less money than the actual cap?
So from what I understand with the revenue sharing is that it's supposed to take away all of these, what do they call them? The LLCs, the conglomerates, whatever they got
like
put
collectives
together.
And all that?
Right.
Yeah.
It's supposed to say you can pay the players, but it's from the schools. And then it's supposed to change, again, the other stuff of, and you can also make, name, image, and likeliness. If you do this or do a commercial or you do that, it's not supposed to be the Wild Wild West. It's supposed to put some constraints on it to where you take that conference's revenue and you divide it equally upon all the teams in that. And then if you want to make money on the side doing commercials or autograph signings or anything like that, like that's on you. That's essentially how it's stated it's supposed to be.
Right. I get it. That brings up to piggyback on that. This is my second point. First one is Syracuse. Will they have enough money? So essentially what you're saying is that if everybody's getting stripped of all this extra money and the revenue sharing is supposed to be equal across the board anyway.
Yes.
So then, okay. All right. Now here's my point. That won't happen. That won't happen because what's happening now is what was happening likely to some extent before there was money supposed to be involved in any of it.
Oh, 100%.
So
Miami got caught. SMU got caught.
Yeah.
Death penalty.
Yeah. So now you've got.
There's still going to be extra money out there on the side. For
right.
Sure.
Right. And you're not going to be able to police it. because you've
Right.
already allowed it to happen.
And that's the other thing, like you always say, putting the toothpaste back in
Yeah.
the tube.
Yeah, you can't do
Like
it.
you've already given it to the point where you're paying. I mean, how much money are they paying? I mean, I think Miami paid Carson Beck $8 million to go there this past year. Like, how are you going to
yeah.
turn around now and now
Dude.
tell a high school, the number one high school recruit, hey, by the way, there's new rules. We only have 20 million across all sports, so I'm only going to be able to give you 500,000.
Yeah, or you're definitely not going to give you $8 million. And he would tell him to go kick rocks because I'll just go to Duke, who's already cheating anyway. So, I'm not accusing Duke. I'm just saying one of those big schools.
Yes. Right.
I'm just in Alabama, the UNC. Do you remember when UNC had fake classes
Texas
for their
oil
players?
Money. Yes.
Okay.
The Texas oil money, right?
Yeah, this has always been a thing. So if Syracuse wants to put their little halo on again, like John Wildhack did, and they want to put their little halo on, and they want to say, okay, we're playing by the rules. We're playing by the rules. We're only going to use this money. You're going to get your ass kicked still.
Yeah, still.
So it's not going to matter. Yeah. You're going to get your ass kicked.
Right.
You remember
you
remember that, right? When this whole thing started, John Wildhack said he wasn't going to do it. We're not going to do it. Like, we're going, what do you mean, dude? You got to.
Guess what? Dabo Sweeney said it too, and look what they've turned into.
Well, that's true. Good point. Don't
It's
try to act like you're above it.
Right. And guess what? Now they're doing it.
Right. Well, that's why, and I talked about Tony Bennett, but not being able to build relationships with these kids. And we talked about Krzyzewski in the past. Like, those guys are too good. They don't want to be part of what's going on.
No, well,
because
that's the point. The point is that used to same thing with Nick Saban, right?
Nick Saban was the first one.
You're growing young men up to be men that you will forever have relationships with out in the world, but they're going to go out there and they're going to be great members of society, right? Like, they're going to be out there, they're going to do the right thing. Like, you're building these people, you're building character in a very, very crucial point in their life, right? To where now the best coaches are snake oil salesmen.
Right. Now it's a sideshow.
Now you don't even got to be a great coach. Go out there and sell the donors and get the money.
Right.
And then the money, you get the players. And the players, you get the W's.
Yes. So if you don't want to get down in the mud and you don't want to get dirty, then you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose.
The problem is even if we do, I don't know if unless something changes with the rules, And all these people that are like, oh, we should go back to the Big East and this. Well, it's too late for that. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, no one wants
too late
to do
for that.
No one wants to do that. The Big
Well,
East is going to get what?
They're going to get left behind.
Yeah, I was going to say the Big East is going to get left behind.
But I will tell you that a UConn, with their fan base, and as long as they stay relevant, guess what? They might end up dropping their football program.
Where the hell's Villanova now?
They're there.
No, I mean, but what conference are they in?
They're in the Big East.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, when was the last time you heard about a Villanova?
Villanova's been decent.
They've been decent, but they're not making a ton of noise, bro. Yeah.
The NIL,
right.
The Big East has been going down.
Right.
Because guess what? Most of them don't have football schools that make money.
That's a very good point. And there's also geographically just mediocre.
For many reasons. But it's a situation where UConn, if you have a blue blood type team, they have enough fans to where they can stay relevant in one sport. Right?
Yeah, it's fair. Right.
They don't really care. Oh, we're an independent football team. I don't know how much they care about football. They're independent so they can schedule their own schedule, maybe play good teams and make money, but they're just going to be a stepping stone school of football. They're never going to be relevant.
Well, there's two independent schools right now, right? UConn and Notre Dame. Is that right?
No, there might be more.
Is there?
But,
I know there were. I thought it was just the two. But anyway.
It might just be the two now,
Yeah, that just goes to show you, everybody's trying to join a conference. It's kind of, that was my, just to your point.
Well, UConn went independent in football because they had to if they wanted to go back to the Big East for basketball. Because they were in the American League. When everything broke up, they went to the American for basketball and football. And they were like, we're not making the money that we did in the Big East, so we're going to go back to the Big East, but we have to go independent in football to do that.
Right, and Notre Dame's been corrupt since
forever.
So.
But But in that case, like in this case, if we did want to pull off what UConn did, or if we did want to pull off hey, let's just concentrate on the basketball, side of it. We'll stay in the Big East and not have a football team. If we were going to do that, we had to do that before the NIL. Now it's too late. And on top of that, we've had 5 seasons of just downhill, just losing our, for lack of a better word, shine.
Yeah.
People used to see the Orange S and it's, oh yeah, they're a tough basketball school. Like they're not afraid of us anymore. Nobody is.
I've had people ask me here that are from here. I'm a big Syracuse fan. Like, what happened? I'm like, I really don't know what happened. I mean, NIL definitely put a dagger through it, but it started before that.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit, dude.
I don't think it did.
Yes, it did.
I don't think it did, bro.
Yes, it did, bro. When did NIL start?
Well,
COVID wasn't a help to anything.
That was it.
That could have very well been the start of this whole debacle. Yeah, I mean, they just weren't. I don't think the world was ready for it, and the teams that were rich got richer, and the teams that were mediocre got mediocrer. If that's a word. And
I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's getting to a point to where that's just look. Okay. So before COVID, the 2 years before that, we made the NCAA tournament. Then the year before that, NIT second round. The year before that, we made the Final Four. Pretty sure that was the Benajay and what's his name? He's right there, Richardson, right there behind you to your right.
Oh yeah, Malachi Richardson.
Malachi. So I mean, 2015, 2016. Between that, I mean, and then the year before we were ineligible. That was the year that we made ourselves ineligible. Rakeem Christmas's last year. But then before that, NCAA tournament, second round. NCAA tournament, Final Four. Elite Eight, second round. Sweet 16. Like, that was 2008 to 2018, 19 before COVID. We only missed the NCAA tournament twice, and one time we were ineligible.
Yeah, why did we do that again? We took it upon ourselves to do that. What was that again?
I don't necessarily. Wasn't that when
that wasn't what's his name? Was it?
I think that was when they were doing an investigation.
People are screaming at their phones right now, listening to this.
I know they probably are like
I don't remember exactly.
I don't exactly remember either. But I'm just saying, like before that year, you're talking about 28 wins, 30 wins, 34 wins, 27 wins, 30 wins, 28 wins. Like, I mean,
it wasn't that long ago when you're kind of thinking about it like that,
right? And then all
feels
of a
like
sudden,
forever. Feels like since we started this podcast, we've sucked. Like it's our fault.
Oh man, no, it's but yeah, ever since COVID, I mean, the year after COVID, we went to the Sweet 16, and then we haven't been to a postseason tournament since. And it looks like, I mean, we struggle to even break 500, other than Judah Mintz's last year. So it's just, it's hard to blame, like what changed, right? That's my whole thing. Is Jim Boeheim was like in Syracuse, they were so. They had everything going. They had their program, everything. What changed? The world stopped for COVID, and then they freaking just blew open the NIL doors and the transfer rules. And all the COVID extra years.
Oh, yeah.
24-year-olds playing.
Yeah.
Like, all that stuff. And now, randomly, this is where we're at. I mean, everyone wants to blame the AD or they want to blame, Adrian Autry or something. And I think that the fact of the matter is we can blame people.
I definitely want to blame the AD a little bit. I'm sorry. You can't just not blame somebody. And the one at the top is the one that's going to take most of the blame.
Right. And at the end of the day, he was the one that kind of slow played the NIL, right?
Wait,
Maybe if
2
we
years. He put himself 2 years behind.
If we jumped on board in the beginning, then who knows where we'd be right now.
Yeah.
But
It's his own
it
fault.
doesn't seem like we've been able to recover from that.
We haven't.
And that, to me, is just a lack of money.
I wonder if you go back and listen to our conversations after he decided to take the high road on NIL. I wonder what we said in those shows. And I wonder if it applies today.
It could. But the problem is that how do you, like, if they haven't recovered from that, then that is also his fault, right?
Absolutely.
But only time will tell if it just didn't matter. We could be sitting here 2-3 years from now with a new AD, a new chancellor, a new basketball coach, a new, whatever, and it's the same result. Then what? Do we blame the people, or do we blame just the way the system's the system is not set up for a small private school in the Northeast that, let's be honest,
to thrive.
It's not a huge like school fan.
There's no
so to speak, right?
they're not
the students
are not filling this thing up like a Alabama, like a
state school,
like FSU. You know what I'm saying? They're just there's not, we don't thrive that way. We've mentioned several times on the show about our fan base is old heads. They're all locals.
Right.
They leave the B2, they leave Brad's, and they go to the game, and they come back to Brad's or B2, and then you know what I'm saying? Like that's just, they're just all locals who grew up in Syracuse, and I tell people that I know here, like, that's what we had growing up. Like, we had the Dome, we had fishing, and we had snowmobiling. That's Syracuse in a nutshell, right? I mean, that's what we had. That's what they still have, but it's slowly fading.
But gone are the days, because I remember when I was in the Army in Fort Drum, an hour away, they'd give away tickets. They'd get an allotment of tickets, and they would give tickets away to random soldiers if they wanted to go to the games. I remember seeing, even when we started this podcast, I remember seeing comments and things like that from fan feedback talking about, oh, I got season tickets and I live in Rochester. Coming from Rochester, Binghamton, coming from all areas, Utica, Watertown. Gone are the days where these people are taking the time to make that trip. And so, and unfortunately, and as sad as it is, because again, the fans are going to pitch, and the fans are going to this, and the fans are going to that. Essentially, we're in a day and age now where you have to pay to have a good team. Yeah. You have to buck up.
Literally.
Yes.
Like with bucks.
Yeah. Like you can't, this isn't a situation where you're going to boycott going to a game and sit here and call for the AD's job and call for the coach's job and things are going to change. Like, sadly, it's the money. And sadly, when you look at the Alabamas and the SECs and the schools down south and everything, they have a lot more students that go to that actually go to the school. There are a lot more
many.
So many more.
So many.
There are a lot. And what does that do?
I mean, Virginia Tech. I've been to a Virginia Tech football game, dude. The student presence there, the energy of that fan base is way more than what we have.
Right, and if you don't have the students involved, and they don't get involved in the sports, so to speak, then what are their chances that they're going to actually donate money after they graduate? And then you have some schools that have their attendance is through the roof, and then they get all into the sports, and you have that many graduates every single year. That just ups your percentage of people that could possibly become successful enough to donate money, so to speak. I mean, we got some. Do you think that Vanessa Williams and Ty Diggs is giving money to NIL for Syracuse? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's probably not even. I mean, I don't know either, but it could possibly just not be on the radar.
But that's what I'm saying. And then I don't know all the rules, but like we have a crap ton of broadcasters. We got Bob Costas. We got Mike Tirico. We got millionaires that came out of Syracuse that are broadcasting like Olympics and Super Bowls and.
Well, Tirico went from the Super Bowl to the Olympics the same day.
The same day, right? How much is he putting into that, right?
Remember when Mike Tirico was our local sports guy?
Yeah.
In Syracuse.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he was on Monday Night Football all of a sudden.
Right. So my point is that, the fans want to bitch and complain about how good or not good we are, when ultimately we live in a day and age now where you have to pay for what you get. Yep. You want to eat healthy, go to the grocery store, guess what? You're going to pay.
Yeah.
You want to go stay at a really nice hotel versus the motel? You're going to pay.
Right. Like the food thing. It's like they put less stuff in it and it costs me more. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to eat healthy, if you want to eat clean, it's going to cost you money. But yeah, to your point, I hate to sit here and continue to just beat a dead horse about the money every time we get on behind the microphone here. But at the end of the day, I just feel like this doesn't get fixed without it. And I mean, only we could make an hour and now 16-minute show out of two horrible losses back to back in 1 week.
I think we both know we were going to talk more about this stuff than the actual games, right? Because again, it would just be a repeat of almost every podcast we've done.
Well, the fan base is totally disengaged. Thoughts on the game. Now, these things, I could tweet, and I'm not on Twitter a lot, man. So there's that. But last night after the Michigan game, when I was talking about Syracuse need to get some effing money quick to keep up relevancy, more people saw that tweet than they did the thoughts on the game tweet. So it just tells me that after a game, they're not going to Twitter anymore. They don't care.
They're checking out.
Yeah, exactly.
They're checking out. I mean, and again, me and you are as close as we've ever been to checking out, and we are usually like the ones that are
trying to get everybody to check back in.
Off the ledge, right? Yeah. Gonna be all right.
You at some point you got to be honest with everything,
and that's why.
And it's been 5 years in a row of like just crap,
right?
Like a crap sandwich.
And it sucks when you sit here and you actually see a team that actually does have a little bit of talent, but you can't put it together, right?
All year.
But then you look at it, and it's again, yes, we have talent. Oh, we have Donnie Freeman, we have this, we have that. But also, too, you know what I see? I see when we go out there against the Miamis, against some of these, we're smaller than everybody. Physically smaller. I mean, we just get pushed. We get pushed around. We have our good players are limited. I mean, we know I love William Kyle, but
just not strong enough.
I mean, he's only 6'9".
Imagine if he was, though.
He can jump through the rim.
Yeah.
But guess what? If he's not within 3 feet of the hoop,
he's not scoring.
Then he does nothing to affect the game.
Right.
Donnie Freeman.
Well, he did get away on a fast break yesterday.
Oh, well, yes, he'll do that, but he don't. But I'm saying, those times where he gets the ball down low and he's like posting up and he's 5 feet away from the rim.
He was dribbling up by his ears, though.
Yeah, it was close.
It was really close.
And look, as good as J.J. Starling played yesterday, he's limited.
Yeah, well, like you said, the player development there probably had a higher ceiling than where we're at.
Right. And so that's really the whole thing is that we're not going to be able to just develop players like that. And if you can't evolve throughout a season, that's definitely the coach. But you look at other teams and they're just getting better players.
Yeah,
we're 11th, 10th or 11th as far as NIL money comparable to the other teams in the ACC, and randomly we're in 11th in the standings. So as a fan, and nowadays the way you look at it, if you pay to be 11th and you're 11th, then you
Don't
can't
be surprised.
cry about it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just.
I want to. I want to
It's got to
see
be
this.
a concerted effort, right? Like me and you, we could pay in. I could spend $50, $100 a month, throwing in some damn. But it's got to be everybody. Me and you putting in $100 a month ain't gonna damn
move the needle, and then eventually
Right.
we're going to be like, well, look, we're not seeing results, and we're wondering why. I mean, I don't think we've seen results since we started NIL.
Right.
We had
I
one
don't
really
know.
good football year, right?
right.
You know,
Well, and that's the sketchy shit too, because again, it's just like anything. It's just like taxes. You just take my money. I don't know where it goes. It's just over there. Where does it go?
well,
I
money's
don't know.
fungible, so it doesn't matter.
Well, but at the end of the day, if you're giving money, don't you think you should know what it's going to?
Well, I was told where it was going, and I was told I was going to get. I was told I was going to get some incentives,
Right.
and I never did.
But that's right. But again, there's no visibility.
No, there's not.
As a,
And
as
that-
a fan base, if you have a collective, you should see how much money's going into that collective. You should see where that money's going inside that collective. Otherwise, there's some room there. There's some space there to assume that there's some shady shit going on.
yeah.
That someone's getting a salary off of this. And I'm not seeing the results. So again, some of that stuff, if you want fans to pay in, that's got to be cleaned up. Because I don't know about you, I paid into it, and then again, same thing. I didn't see anything from it. I stopped.
Right. Well, of course. I mean, you have to be an idiot to continue.
Right.
No offense to anybody who did, but I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not
right,
doing that.
right.
I'm not
Right.
doing that. I wouldn't have even probably been able to go to any of those meet and greets or the autograph sessions
Right.
or whatever the hell it was. But it's just the point. Like,
But maybe you could donate it to somebody that's
Sure,
out there, right?
yeah.
You have
I would-
family
I was-
members, you have friends.
I planned
right?
on
Like-
giving it away on the show.
Right.
So I mean, and that was my God's honest plan because chances are I probably wasn't going to be able to make it.
Right.
So yeah. I mean, you've got a lot of empty promises to, as far as I can see, to people who donated to what was it, Orange United? Is that what that was?
Yeah.
And we sat behind the microphone and said, "Hey, look, you guys want to bitch and moan? Well, put your money where your mouth is." Like we both did it. I'm sure there's plenty of people listening that did it. So, anyways, at the end of the day, Syracuse hasn't done anything very special in the NIL era, and I'm afraid that we're not going to see much. We wait for this new administration to come in and figure out what we got and what the plan is, and see how they
and
can
to be
do.
And to be perfectly honest with you, and again, I mean, I'm not trying to make this another 20-minute show or another 20-minute long show, but I mean, there's some rabbit holes that we can go down. You know, we like some rabbit holes every once in a while, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's going to be interesting to see if geographically or what is it, political geography of just certain things, if that has anything to do, you know, as you start getting more and more years going through, it's expensive to live in New York. How many people in upstate New York have the extra funds to throw at that, right?
But save it for their taxes if you live in Cicero or
Oh, I'm just
North
saying,
Syracuse.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, is the cost of living and the politics around the areas in which you live, is that going to affect the amount of NIL and what the schools use money for, right? Like, it'll be interesting to see.
So, estimated distribution by sport. While the university has declined to release, shocking.
Of course.
While the university has declined to release exact percentages, industry models and reports indicate the following estimate breakdown for $20.5 million pool. So, estimated 75% of that went to the football team, 15.38. Men's basketball team, 3.08. So 3, which is 15% of the total pool. Women's basketball, 1 million. Lacrosse, 1 million.
It's nice to see Spalina's out there getting a little bit of money.
He deserves it.
He does. Probably
but
don't make shit in professional lacrosse.
Probably not. You can probably honestly make more doing this than you could in the what is it, the PLL, right? Professional Lacrosse League. So, $3 million for basketball is peanuts. That's peanuts in this world. And this is an estimate because of course Syracuse hasn't released it.
Of course they haven't.
So,
well, again,
take it
it's
for what
just
it's
par
worth.
it's par for the course. That stuff should all be public. That should all be public knowledge. God forbid there's visibility and accountability and possibly audits for where people's money go. Right. So, yeah, I would like to think. I mean, yeah, that's nice, right? But at the end of the day, like, how much money do you think that Duke's getting?
Well, let's ask.
Because I know for a fact that quarterback, Darian Mensah, he got $5 million to come there last year, and now he's getting 8 or 10 to go to Miami. You're getting one player that's giving out $8 million or $10 million. Then what do you think Miami has? What do you think Duke has? Can't compete with that.
Duke's men's basketball budget reports indicate Duke's men's basketball program alone has an NIL budget of at least $8 to $10 million for this year.
Okay, triple what we have. And you wonder why we lost by 37 points.
Yeah, I didn't wonder. Someone else might be wondering. But Darian Mensah's got the $8 million for the football deal, right? As you mentioned, and it's over 2 years, so 4 each year.
Okay, yeah, no, but he transferred to Miami.
Right, so he only got 4 of it.
He only got 4 of them. Miami had to pay the other 4 to get him. Plus they're paying.
Okay.
Plus they're paying him another 5 or 6 or something like that to go. Look, ask what Darian Mensah's Miami contract is.
Obviously, Cameron Boozer is expected to get a significant portion of the $8 to $10 million. Doesn't tell me how much.
No, it doesn't make sense.
And Cooper Flagg last year reportedly earned a staggering $28 million through NIL contracts, including major deals with New Balance and Fanatics.
Well, yeah.
Damn. Golly.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not going to get left behind, guys. We're not. We already have been.
Oh, 100%.
We already have been.
And I just looked up the Darian Mensah. So Darian Mensah, he signed a 2-year contract for $8 million for Duke.
Yeah.
He played 1 year, got $4 million.
Mm-hmm.
He's a senior. Miami came and said, "We want to pay you however much." And Duke actually was going to sue him because he had a contract. But they ended up figuring out, and basically they're making Miami pay for the $4 million.
Mm-hmm.
So Miami paid Duke $4 million to allow Darian Mensah to transfer to the school, and then they're going to pay Darian Mensah another $6 million, which means Miami spent $10 million to get Darian Mensah as their just the quarterback.
Just to give you a perspective on how much $1 million is in the women's program, UNC gave their women's team $250,000. Hold on, I was looking at something else. They gave them $250,000. Their basketball program, UNC's basketball program, is around 7, and the football is around 13, respectively. So, anyways, yeah, I mean,
well, and you see that, right? Their football team wasn't great.
Yeah, and their
basketball team is pretty decent.
It's
for
pretty
$7
decent
million.
for $7 million. You know, $7 million's on the low end of being good. You have to imagine.
But I mean if
Duke
you
is
said what we only spent 3.5.
no, like 3.08, like 3.
No, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
3.08, 15% of the pool. Meanwhile, we'd spent $15.3 million on football, and that was poop.
Well,
Poop.
yeah, we got to get better with that because.
Well, I'll tell you what. If Fran Brown's getting $15 million, he better step it up.
Well, this is the issue with that, right? number one, I think that we probably gave Ricky Collins a little bit too much money and thought he was going to be able to do something. When we saw what it was, he had to go and pay Steve Angeli to come, right? But also we do have to realize and understand that he's bringing in top 35 recruiting classes too.
I understand.
So that's part of it. We went from getting recruiting classes in the 50s and 60s to, again, I know he's a good recruiter, but, you're not going in and getting, oh, God, what's his name? The corner there.
Oh, the two-way guy?
Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank, Joe.
Yeah, me too.
The young kid, the 17-year-old.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. People are screaming at their phones again.
Again, yep. I mean, it's all a money thing, right? Like, it's all a money thing, and it's just Demetrius Samuels.
Yes.
It's all a money thing, and
you hit the enter button with authority, by the way.
Yeah, I did. I did. That was a heavy thumb. That was a heavy thumb, bro. Just because it's upsetting. Because again, we used to have this conversation about football and about they used to say, "Well, get better and we'll come to the game." And
yeah,
we
what comes first, asses in the seats or W's?
Yeah, well, now it's just it's the same conversation, just different things, right? And I mean, I just think that at the end of the day, like if the fans, if they don't show their support in one way or another, if you don't go to the game and you don't want to buy season tickets, then put that money towards NIL. Put that money towards players. Otherwise, again, like you said, I mean, it's probably already happened. I don't know if it's too late, but what happened the last 5 years and how this team has just gone down. If they don't do something to boost some kind of energy, like, I'm sorry, like, we can say whatever we want about John Wildhack. The football program, the fans were way too just over waiting for the cake to bake. And John Wildhack needed to make a good hire. Mm-hmm. And I think people questioned it, but once they saw how Fran Brown was, how they heard, how he spoke, how real he was, and then his first season, I mean, they amplified some energy into the football program. And they need to do something. This new AD, whoever comes in, they need to do something to do the same thing for basketball. Otherwise, we're just going to continue. It don't matter who comes in.
Well, that's what I was saying. That was my point earlier. Like, you could all these fancy names that have been thrown out over the past few years, any one of them could come in. If the resources aren't given, you're only going to be able to do so much. You're going to be a Fran Brown.
Right, but what I'm saying is that they need to do something. It's not just this basketball hire needs to get the fans to want to come back, give money, fill up the seats before they even play a game. That's what needs to happen. The fans need to be excited about whoever we hire, and they need to get renewed energy to get back into the dome and to be willing to give money in NIL. We can't just hire some no-name goofball and think that people are just going to run back in and they're going to wait for that person to choose, to prove if they can win or not. And I don't think that that's going to work. Like, there needs to be renewed energy based upon just the hire.
Yeah.
And I don't know who it is. I don't have a name.
Well, it's going to be interesting to find out. Yeah. I think that's going to be the most exciting part of this year.
I mean, sadly.
As sad as it is, the anticipation of waiting to see who's going to be the new AD and ultimately, unfortunately, is the new who's going to be named the new head coach of the Syracuse basketball team.
It's got to be a home run, man.
It's got to be a home run, and I mean, I really want my team to thrive and be relevant and be good and successful, but the pessimist in me is like, can't wait for the season to be over with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
that's, to me, it's the same thing, right? Like, I'm not even worried about, like, that's why this whole conversation and this whole podcast has been based upon what we've been talking about, right? Because I think that we all understand the writing's on the wall. Season's not over, but we're not going to make the NCAA tournament, and there's probably a 99.9% chance that Coach Red's gone. And so that turns to, I'm more worried about, does it even matter who the coach is, right?
Well, yeah,
that's where my conversation's going, right? Like,
right.
I would rather, like, that's where my head's at. I'm not worried about Wake Forest next Saturday at Wake Forest, which, again, I probably would have went to that game living down in North Carolina if we were in a different situation. My overall headspace is, we need to get a good hire. We need to get somebody that's either coming from a mid-major that's very exciting and is proven that he's
young.
Yes. Or we need to get a known name, like pull Tony Bennett or somebody that's retired out of retirement, and you know what I mean? Something like that. It's got to be an exciting. And if it's not, then we have no chance of recovering from this until rules change as far as how money and transfers get run around. So it's unfortunate.
Krzyzewski comes out of retirement to coach Syracuse.
Save Boeheim again.
Yeah, no, God, no. We'll be weekending at Bernie's. Everybody. Oh.
No, I'm just joking.
Golly.
So, but
I said young. Yeah, Tony Bennett's still young, by the way. Like, he's a guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I don't know if he wants it.
No, he doesn't want it. He's good, bro. He's good. He had a good thing.
If he wanted, I was gonna say,
he had a good thing with UVA.
He had a better thing.
Yeah, he's absolutely, and I'm sure their NIL was really good.
I mean, I'm sure the new coach this year is doing great. So yeah, I mean, and that's again. I mean, I think that's why this podcast has gone as long as it has today, and because we know the writing's on the wall. We're sick and tired of having the same old conversation about the two games that were played, minus, the 1 week where they surprised us with California and SMU. But
UVA's got a total of $30 million.
Oh, there you go.
And they put half of that into football, and they put $8 million of that into men's basketball.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we see where we're at.
Yeah, we see where we're at.
Duke had what? 8 to 10.
Poop.
North Carolina 7. Virginia 8. They're all. But the problem is that if we turn around and we match that, and we say, okay, well now we need to spend $7 to $8 million on the basketball team, then that just takes our football team down to 10, 11 million, right? And then what does that do to football? So that's what I mean. You just need more money.
Right, you need more money to spread around because everybody's got to get their fair share. I mean, $1 million for women's basketball so far as I see is a lot.
I mean, but again, they're a tournament team. You've seen them turn around.
Well, that's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point. That's a lot. And in that realm, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
For a what they would call a non-revenue generating sport.
Right.
That's a lot.
No, I know. But I'm not going to say it.
I just did. You watch women's basketball. I don't. I'm not. I know, I'm not scared to say it. Well, you at least have it on. I don't.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that there's a reason.
Do what?
I'm saying I wonder why the reason is that an upstate New York private college gives $1 million to women's basketball, but
North Carolina we 10-4.
10-4. Like, come on, bro. Like, pick it up.
Sorry, dude. Sorry. I just had.
I don't want to say it out loud, but
well, you did.
You almost made me.
You pretty much did.
I did, but some people won't
appreciate
it'll go over, and some people it'll go over their heads. Right. So that's fine. So yeah, and again, like I don't even know when you even want to come back because I just don't. I mean, at Wake Forest next Saturday, 5:45. It's right now a quad 1 game. I don't know if it'll stay that way, but we at them, and then the Tuesday after at Louisville. I just it's a 9 p.m. game. I think I might end up That might be another one I might end up shutting off to make sure that I get good rest.
I will be not shamed into regretting my decision not to watch the Duke game. Because,
I'm not going to shame you.
because my intuition was right. However, I'm not proud of it. But I'll tell you what, I slept like a baby.
Yeah.
You know, because once you get past the initial, curiosity, and you maybe peek at a score, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm good. Yeah, I'm going to bed.
Right? I don't want to watch it, but let me peek at the score 5 minutes in the second half and see if it's worth turning on. Nope.
Right.
Nope. They're down 23.
Exactly.
Bye. Good night.
Exactly. I made the right choice. Okay?
Yes, you did.
Okay. I borderlined on high blood pressure at my last doctor's appointment, so I just don't need it.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. So, I mean, yeah. And then we finish off
At Pitt at home.
Pitt at home, which, again, is, I mean, whether we win that game or not is irrelevant at this point.
It's absolutely irrelevant. Like,
But
the fight to the bottom. Although it still is Pitt, and I will be happy if they beat Pitt twice this year in a year where they were just not good.
Yes. And at the end of the day, we're pretty much already locked into an ACC. We're going to make the ACC tournament.
Right.
Doesn't really even matter what happens in the next 3 games. I mean, Georgia Tech and Boston College only have 2 wins. Pittsburgh, Notre Dame only have 3. And I can't believe we lost to Boston College. God. 9-18. Boston College is 9-18.
They're terrible, and they beat us. So I was watching them play yesterday, too. And Amy's like, man, Boston College really sucks, don't they? I'm like, yeah, they beat us.
Yeah, they beat us. And, of course, Stanford's underneath us. And for some reason, you know, we didn't play them this year, but we got to play North Carolina twice. So that's fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's par for the course. It's just our
So-
luck, you know? And by the way, we didn't do anything great in the net. Like, none of that helped us. We slipped to 76. So once again, I'm left, and we went from 69 to 72 in the loss against Duke.
Right, but that's because of how much they beat us.
How much they beat
That's
us
the
by. I know that one. I understand that one. It's the 4. It's the slip by 4 at home against UNC. I mean, I guess it makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right, that's it. If you're still listening, don't you have something better to do? Okay, don't you have something better to do? We appreciate it nonetheless, and we'll be back here eventually. We just are not sure when.
Yeah.
So, in the meantime, keep your head up. For Joe, I'm Sean. We're out.